Hi everyone, I'm Angela Hunt with Memorial's Faculty of Education, and today we are going to be talking about the Faculty of Education's Graduate Diploma in Reading Development and Instruction, as well as the Masters of Education in Reading Development and Instruction. Joining me here in the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning Studio is the faculty's Associate Dean of Graduate Programs and Research, Dr. Rhonda Joy. Welcome, Dr. Joy.
Thank you, Angela.
First, we'll take a few minutes to talk about the program, and then we will look at some common questions. If you have friends or family that may be interested in reading development and instruction programs here at the Faculty of Education, feel free to tag them in the comments or hit the share button. Can you talk to us a little bit about reading specialists and their role in the education system?
Sure, Angela, happy to. The role of the reading specialists in the schools, you'll find, will vary across, I would think, Canada as well as across school districts. You'll see them working with children with reading issues, generally in kindergarten through grade 6, but they may also be in roles where they work with older students or perhaps even adults. I think another really big role for reading specialists in the school system would be to actually work with classroom teachers to support them in reading development or reading instruction in the classroom, and of course to promote reading culture in the school or in the district. In terms of actual jobs that they would take on, they would certainly be able to work in reading-related program specialist in the school board or perhaps the Department of Education. They could certainly take on a role as a reading specialist at school level, at school board level. Literacy support teachers within schools or literacy coaches, and also private tutors. But I think the really neat thing about these programs as well is that it allows classroom teachers, if they are in the school system, classroom teachers in the school system who have this background, well, their skills to be able to work in the classroom with students are enhanced, and it will certainly help them in a regular classroom as well.
So, Dr. Joy, can you give us an overview of the Graduate Diploma in Education in Reading Development and Instruction, as well as the Masters of Education in Reading Development and Instruction programs, and the options that are offered by Memorial's Faculty of Education?
Both programs are really designed to deepen students' understanding of reading development, assessment, and instruction for diverse learners. When we look at the diploma is designed with 4 reading-focused courses. They're online courses with synchronous or live components in each of those 4 courses. The live components, I think, are really critical to these courses given the nature of the material or the topics covered. It allows you or the students in the course to interact with their peers and interact with their instructors and to be able to connect the material covered in class to practice in the field. So they're really important pieces. The master's program will have the same 4 courses offered in the same way, but you'll also be provided an opportunity to look at other areas of interest related to the area of reading. So the master's program has a thesis route or a project route in terms of options or routes that you can go in the program. And the thesis option, you would do your 4 main reading courses. You would do a research course, and then you would complete another research course and then a thesis. For the project route, you would do the same 4 courses and the research course, as well as 3 electives related to or in the area of reading or literacy. And you would also then, the last piece of that, look at a project that you would work on with a supervisor. In the diploma program, you have the ability, if you choose to start the diploma program, you do have the ability to transfer to the master's program should you wish to do further study in this area as well. So that option is there.
So can you tell us what is involved in applying to either the Graduate Diploma or the Masters of Education in Reading Development and Instruction?
The application process is the same as any other process for a graduate program at MUN. The application is online through our School of Grad Studies. You'll need to, as part of that application process, you'll need, of course, your transcript for university courses that you've taken, your undergrad degree. And generally, you'll find you'll need 2 references. Usually we aim for an academic and a professional reference, a resume, and usually some kind of a letter which indicates a reason, your rationale for joining the program as part of that package. You'll find as well that if you go to SGS, the School of Grad Studies website, they'll have that information there and any other information regarding the application process. If you have any questions, then you can always reach out to either the School of Grad Studies or the Faculty of Education.
And what are the admission requirements for acceptance into the Graduate Diploma in Education or the Masters of Education in Reading Development and Instruction?
The admission requirements, Angela, would be the same as any other graduate program. So whether you apply to the master's or to the diploma, the entrance requirements would be the same. And the entrance requirements would be an undergrad degree with at least second-class standing or an undergrad degree with at least a 70% average in your last 90 attempted credit hours. And of course, that would be from a recognized university or institution. For this particular program, when the faculty review the applications, they would be giving preference to students who have assessment or remedial instruction courses or background, as well as usually 2 years teaching experience.
What should a student expect when enrolled in one of the graduate programs in Reading Development and Instruction with the Faculty of Education?
Enrollment, or what to expect, I think, when you enroll in a program like this, Angela, starting off, whether you do the diploma or the master's, for these 2 programs, they always start in January. So you can expect that your first course you will take, it will be in January. For the diploma, you'll have 4 courses covered over 4 semesters. So you will do a course in January, 1 in the spring, 1 in the fall, and then the final one in the following winter. They would be done 1 term after the other, and then after that you'd be finished your diploma. For the master's, you can expect again to start in January. You would begin with these 4 courses. But whether or not you do any other courses will depend on if you have enrolled as a full-time or part-time student. And certainly as a full-time student, you have the option to be able to take other courses in your program along with those courses each term. And you can expect as well, when you do the reading program, or the reading courses, in the program, you will have a synchronous or live component to each of those courses. And generally, for each of the 4 courses, you can expect to meet with your group live through Brightspace, the online platform at MUN, and meet with your students as well, or your peers, and your instructor 6 or 7 times throughout the term. And again, this is an opportunity to discuss your material that you've talked about in class. There's experiential components to these pieces as well, and to connect what you're learning in your material and what you're reading about, to be able to connect that with practice through discussion and through experiences that you and your peers have had in your work life. Another really interesting piece of this is that our 4th reading course actually has a practicum component built into the course. So you will have an opportunity in that final course in the diploma or the fourth reading course to work with a child with a reading disability or a reading issue in the school system, and also work with the teacher to support them in developing programming for that particular student or child. So it's a wonderful opportunity to bring practice or to apply what you've learned to real life.
What would you recommend as strategies for success for students enrolled in any of the Reading Development and Instruction graduate programs at the Faculty of Education?
That's a good question, Angela. If we think about gearing ourselves for success and what types of strategies we need to think about, the first thing that comes to my mind is time management. Regardless of any kind of schooling, but particularly graduate school, the importance of being able to manage your time is critical. We all live really busy lives. We have work, we have family, we have other responsibilities, and trying to find that balance, I think, is really important to not only surviving, but I think enjoying graduate school. Keeping up with your readings, I think, is also really important in being prepared for class. And I think what I've noticed and I think is really critical to all students, but again, particularly to graduate students, is the importance of being able to communicate with the instructor. So if something happens or you're not understanding or you have any questions, reach out to your instructor. They're there to assist, and they will be more than happy to either set up a meeting time face-to-face or an online meeting or phone call to address whatever concerns you might have about a course or program or any other questions you have. And if they can't answer it, they'll certainly direct you to who can. Balance, I just mentioned, I think is really important. Finding time for yourself as you work your way through grad school, and of course having fun. This is a really exciting time in one's journey or a student's journey, and it's you should be able to enjoy it and try to get the most from your courses.
Are students in the Reading Development and Instruction graduate programs able to work full-time and still complete the program?
Absolutely. If you're working or if you enroll in the diploma program, it is only offered as a part-time program. So you'd be able to work full-time and do one course a semester over the 4 semesters in order to complete that program. The master's program in Reading Development and Instruction offers the opportunity for full-time or part-time enrollment. So it'd be really hard as a full-time, well, you wouldn't be able to work if you were a full-time student, or certainly not you wouldn't be able to work full-time, but you could certainly work part-time and engage in full-time studies. Or if you have a full-time job, you could certainly start the master's or work on the master's and be enrolled in the master's program part-time.
So is there a set course schedule for students enrolled in these graduate programs?
The scheduling of the courses, there is certainly for both the master's and the diploma, the 4 reading courses are on a set schedule. So you will start in January, and whether you are in the master's or the diploma, you would begin with your 4 focused reading, development, and instruction courses. And for each of those, the really important part of those 4 courses is the synchronous or live component of the course. And for each of those courses, you would be required to meet with your students and your instructor, your peers and your instructor in that course, probably 6 or 7 times throughout the term for about a 2-hour session. And you would meet virtually through Brightspace, the platform that MUN uses for online learning, but it would be in real time. So again, that's an opportunity for students to connect with their instructor and with their peers, to have discussions and engage with the material, and also be able to talk about their experiences and relate the reading materials to real life.
And Dr. Joy, what do you feel is the biggest difference for students studying at the graduate level versus the undergrad level?
Yeah. I think what I've heard from students when the topic has ever come up and we compare grad and undergraduate studies, one of the biggest difference noted is the amount of independence graduate students have. You are responsible for your own learning. You have support, you have an instructor who will work and help facilitate with that learning, but really you're in the driver's seat, and you are responsible for your own success. Classes also tend to be smaller. We do a lot of seminar-style classes and smaller group classes. Undergrad courses can run from 25 to 40 students, and grad tends to be 15 to 20, max 25 students in a course. When we compare grad and undergrad, you would see that grad programs and graduate studies would require more critical thinking. You engage in your material in a more critical way, and you're not just reading, you're thinking about and thinking critically about what it is you're reading. And I think finally, maybe when we look at grad programs, you would certainly see that there would be a heavier focus on research in all grad programs.
Is there a minimum academic average or grade that a student must maintain in the Reading Development and Instruction graduate programs with the faculty?
Yes, Angela, the minimum requirement to pass a graduate course in the Reading Development programs are the same as any graduate course. You would require a minimum of a 65% in a course in order to pass it.
Can you tell us a little bit about what students can expect in the online environment?
Sure. The online environment, when you take an online course, you can expect each course will be structured a little bit differently, but there will certainly be some common types of evaluation. Some of them would be similar to what you would find in a face-to-face classroom anyway. But certainly in the online environment, you will often see discussion posts. There may be case studies. You could do presentations. You could still be responsible for presentations online. There would be assignments that you would be responsible for, or research papers. There may be videos that you would have to complete. And I know actually with the reading program, the 4th reading course would require for you to do videos of your practice assessments. You'd also see as well in the reading program, there is a component that would require a practicum where you work with, even though it's an online program, in your own environment, wherever you're located, you would be required to engage in the community with this practicum and be working with a child and a teacher in a school system. And you'll also find that specific to the reading program are the synchronous or live sessions for the 4 reading courses. So that's unique to those 4 particular courses, and that you'd have about maybe 6 or 7 sessions, 2-hour sessions throughout the term that you would meet with your instructor and your peers and engage in a discussion or materials related to the course, maybe do presentations, and also engage in maybe aspects of experiential learning, or just engage in the material and discuss and be able to relate it to your own practice as a teacher.
So Dr. Joy, what's involved in the synchronous component of the Reading Development and Instruction graduate programs?
The Reading Diploma and the Master's both offer the 4 reading courses, which have a synchronous or a live component. And what that means for each of these courses is that throughout the term you will have an opportunity to meet with your classmates and your instructor roughly about 6 or 7 times for about a 2-hour session. And during that time, it is an opportunity for you to engage with your peers and with your instructor and discuss material. You may be required to do presentations. There may be experiential components that you would cover during that time, but it's meant to be an opportunity for you to engage with the material and consider and look at how that applies to your practice as a teacher. The synchronous component of this course is offered through MUN's Brightspace. It is online, but it's in virtual time. It's in a virtual space, but it's in real time. So it provides an opportunity for students to connect.
So Dr. Joy, if you were to start in the Graduate Diploma of Reading Development and Instruction and later decided that you wanted to transfer into the Masters of Education in Reading Development and Instruction, is that possible?
Absolutely. The opportunity is there if you decided or have been enrolled in the diploma program and you decide you would like to transfer to the Reading Development and Instruction Master's program. It is certainly possible for you to transfer over. The courses that you take in the diploma would transfer over to the Master's, so you wouldn't have to repeat them. And I think the important thing to note there, though, is that the diploma courses can only be transferred to the Master's in Reading Development and Instruction.
How many students will be accepted into each of the Reading Development and Instruction programs?
Right now our plan, Angela, is for each of the programs, the diploma and the Master's program, we will accept roughly 20 to 22 students per program. So that would be 40 to 44 in total.
Dr. Joy, if somebody's looking for more information on the Reading Development and Instruction programs offered by the Faculty of Education, where can they go for that information?
Angela, if anyone is interested in the Faculty of Education Diploma in Reading Development and Instruction or a Master's in Reading Development and Instruction, they should contact the Faculty of Education Academic Programs Office or visit our website, the Faculty of Education website, and they should find any information there on the website or certainly by contacting us.
Dr. Joy, what supports are available to students when completing a graduate program with the Faculty of Education?
Angela, anyone that needs any kind of supports or students in need of supports for those programs or students enrolled in those programs are eligible or are able to access any supports that Memorial offers to any graduate students. The Faculty of Education has on our website links for different resources. You'll find that we have a library within the Faculty of Education as well as our Queen Elizabeth Library. You will have career services. There's access to student wellness and health counseling and other supports through Memorial University. You'll find as well that we have a writing center that offers support to students, as well as I find a really, really great support for students is the School of Grad Studies, their website. There are numerous webinars, online sessions that they offer students. One that I think is really important and really helpful to graduate students are some of the blogs and the videos that are available through the SGS website. Dr. Cecile Badenhurst is one of our faculty members, and she has actually developed a number of different videos that students use in their writing. And if you go online, you can get access and review those in terms of steps of how to do a literature review, for example. There's all kinds of information there that I think students will really find. If you take the time to browse through the website, I think students will find it a great resource with some really good information.
That's all the time that we have today. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Joy.
You're most welcome, Angela. Thank you for inviting me.
If you are interested in Memorial's Reading Development and Instruction graduate programs, the next application deadline is coming up on September 15th for enrollment in the winter semester. If you'd like more information about any of the programs offered by the Faculty of Education, please visit our website. So thank you again, Dr. Joy, for chatting with us today, and thank you to everybody watching.